The traditional education system in the United States has been closed, adjusted, thrown upside down, and all around for months. But one local school has been at the forefront of helping its local business community. Welcome to the Fervent Four. Did you know that only 4% of businesses ever cross the annual $1 million revenue mark? I'm Zack Miller, author of Anomaly. And with me today, I have my co-host, Tim Ryan, lead man at startwheel.org. Thanks so much for joining us. The Fervent Four is a weekly show every Thursday at 11 a.m. dedicated to sharing insights into growing a world-class business no matter the climate. The Fervent Four is powered by the SBDC, which helps local small businesses grow through counseling and resources like this show. If you're interested in learning more on how the SBDC can help your business, head to startwheel.org/weekly. Cara Simpson and Vicki Harrington attend W&M MBA and are working towards their MBAs. When COVID hit, they saw an opportunity to help. Welcome to the show, and thanks for tuning in. It's our first 4-video stream. This is exciting.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Nothing moving up in the world. I don't know how many screens we can have on here. We've talked about the Brady Bunch screens in past episodes, so we're getting closer to that. Maybe we'll get to 9 screens at some point. Someone will be in the middle, and they'll just look up all around. It'll be a wild show.
I never know. I wouldn't know which way to look, though. Sarah, I messed up. I'm looking this way to look at Vicki, and I would look.
You did it. You got it. Yeah.
Hi. Oh, there's no one over there. Whatever.
Hey, Tim.
So it's the opposite. All right. So when this whole thing went down in March, were you guys just going to class like normal? How did it kind of all paint the picture for us as this whole thing went down?
Absolutely. Well, so Vicki and I, we were working together before that. We're the co-presidents of the Net Impact Club on campus. And so in December, we were working on planning a big event on campus. And then, of course, we were working our way up to that by March. By March, of course, that is when we realized that the landscape in Williamsburg was going to be changing drastically. We went on spring break, and when we went on spring break, we had no idea what we would come back to. And of course, by the time school did resume, we were no longer meeting in person. And so that's around the time when Vicki and I started putting our heads together. And that's when she reached out to Nancy with the request. And Vicki, maybe you can take it from there.
Yeah. So we at W&M MBA, we have a partnership with local semi-retired and retired executives. So mine is Nancy Turner, and I reached out to her and just said, hey, Cara and I, we want to do something. We don't know what. We've been working with local businesses through, planning events on campus, and we know this is going to be affecting them in ways that no one understands. And
like mid-March at that point, or where are we? Yeah, okay.
Mid-March. So, things had just started happening. Like, it was back when no one knew it. No one had any idea what was actually going to come of it or how long it was going to last.
We still don't know what's going to happen.
I always pretend like we're towards the end, and then I'm like, we're not towards the end at all.
No.
But here we are. We got us in contact with some people at the Economic Development Council, and literally we had the world's worst pitch. We had an email address and said, hey, how about businesses reach out to us and we'll see what we can do.
Can we hear that world's worst pitch?
That you just did.
That was about that.
We might be hearing it for the next 56 minutes.
That was it. We have an email address. Send us an email.
Okay.
And we had a good idea. We knew that we had a really great network at W&M MBA that we were able to leverage. We had this incredible community of the executive partners with a ton of business experience. We had a whole bunch of students who just went from being full-time in-person students. And we quickly realized that a lot of them who had job opportunities and summer internships lined up, a lot of those opportunities were going to be disappearing right in front of them. So we had this big community at W&M MBA that we knew would be able to help in some way. We didn't really know what help meant. We didn't know exactly what kinds of services we could deliver, but we knew that time was of the essence, and it was more important that we just got started and started meeting people and talking. So
And so what's going on right now? Are students being sent home? Are they still on campus? Explain that environment.
Yeah.
Yes, in March.
In March, everyone was off campus, right? So we, like Cara said, we went on spring break and then school was canceled. So they had a week to scramble to make all of our classes go from in person to online. We have something unique at William & Mary. It's a sprint week, and it's one business problem for a week. And usually it's in person. It's really intense. You're spending 12 hours a day doing it. And they had to actually transition it entirely virtual, which funnily enough, it was about crisis management. So it was very timely. But no, I know a bunch of students that actually, where they went on spring break, they have stayed there. So, if they're visiting relatives in North Carolina, they're still there even now.
Wow.
So it was a pretty tumultuous time because, like professors were scrambling to figure out how they were going to take months of lessons plans and make it all virtual.
There was a scheduled business class trip to Europe. They were supposed to be going to, I think, England and Germany over spring break this year. And it was the week before people were talking back and forth of like, oh, will they cancel? Won't they cancel? Really, around March 5th, nobody had any idea what was going to happen. And they were still planning on shipping, 20 odd MBA students across the ocean and bring them back for spring break classes. There were definitely whisperings, and I think the trip was probably canceled just a week short of people leaving.